No, I think he's.
What's up? Got a good night ahead of us. Welcome to the Instigators Hockey Show. I'm Paulie D. That's Chris Katsopoulos over there. And we got a lot to talk about. A lot of Ranger hockey, a lot of hockey around the world. You know, we can only cover so much. I'm going to turn the tunes down. And
that video, Paulie, that video, you know, if that was Matt Remke there,
yeah,
Remke, back when I tried to make the Rangers, that fight alone, and he would have made the Rangers back in the day. That's just what it was back in the day. That would have been enough for Freddie Shero to keep him.
Yeah, well, it would have been, you know, I wanted to keep him too, but I'm not the coach. Lot to do, man.
It's a little chilly up here north. I don't know about you, but I got the hoodie on. We got a little snow powder.
Chilly here in Florida. I had to crack the heat a little bit today. Just get the chill out of the house. Want to say happy belated birthday, Kotz.
Yeah, I hit that last official mark in life. It's all downhill from here.
Yeah.
65. Figure it out.
You look good, man. You look good.
I want to thank everybody who wished me a happy birthday. And like I said on my Facebook page, and to those who didn't, I know where you are.
And then today I posted 7 years ago. I accompanied you and Bill at the Quinnipiac here in Tampa at the Frozen Four. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I posted that on Facebook.
Yeah, I remember it was really hot then too.
But it's been a good run, man. It's been a good run, man. We got. I'm looking back now. I think we got almost 15 years together, man. We started in 2010 together. So we're at 13. Yeah, it's over 13 years, man.
Wow.
Crazy. 2009, actually, to be honest with you. So
we used to do it by phone, remember?
Yeah.
Back like the old Alexander Graham Bell days. Are you there? Okay.
Hey, answer the phone. Yeah. Funny stuff, man. It's been a fun run. So much to talk about. So much crazy stuff.
What are you going to start with? Where do you want to start with tonight?
I'm going to start with the big gossip, hot rumor, crazy stuff today. I was kind of like, what the hell happened? But I did listen while we were talking. Corey Perry got waived by the Chicago Blackhawks, and I believe he passed through waivers, and his contract has been terminated. I did listen. I didn't upload the video. I apologize. I've been running around. I just got on. But I did listen to I believe it's the director of hockey operations speaking briefly about they can't divulge any information, but it doesn't have anything to do with anybody's player personnel or player personnel's family on the team. So all you crazy bastard thinks he was banging Bedard's mom, you're not right.
If you have children watching this show now, please put them away for a few minutes.
So it's not true. The rumors, well, at least I don't know if the rumors are true, but it's not the reason why.
Well,
I thought to myself, and I'm going to ask Chris, but I'm a sick bastard. I thought to myself, I was like, Connor's like 18 years old. Would he go cry to the manager? Hey, Perry's banging my mom. I got a problem with this. I don't know.
Oh.
No, it doesn't seem to be the same.
Well, you know what? Usually when there's a rumor, there's some truth to it. Not always, not totally true, but I listened to the Blackhawk thing too before you listened to it. Their press conference about it. I got nothing out of that press conference. That press conference didn't tell you shit. Okay, really did. It basically lets you know what's happening with Corey Perry. He's been kicked out the team. They've waived them. Whatever's going to happen after that, the NHLPA can file within 60 days for a grievance against the Blackhawks. But I've seen some video where people claim that that's exactly what happened. That he was with Connor Bedard's mother. I mean, hey. But I've also watched another video of a pretty high up beat reporter saying it's absolutely bullshit that it didn't happen. So, but something happened there. It's really weird because you sign a guy like Perry, who you and I can't stand when the Rangers play against him or he plays against any other teams that we like. But he's a great shit disturbing player.
Yeah.
And he's still contributing. He was still contributing up till this happened. I don't know how old he is, 41, 42. I don't know how old he is, but he had 9 points in 15 games for a really, really poor Chicago team. So I don't know. For them to cut him loose, there has to be something pretty drastic there. Now, if it's not Berard's mother, what is it? You know what I mean? What happened in that dressing room? What happened between the players? I have no idea, but it's just funny how the rumors are out there. And, when you think about it, Connor Bedard, what is he like? He's 18, 19, so that means his mother would be in her 30s still, late 30s. So, I don't know. Man.
Oh,
I don't know. I'm sure it's going to come out eventually what the real story is. I don't think it is that, but you never know. That's all I'm going to say.
I get it. And
you go ahead and bloviate here now on it the way you want to. So
no, listen. In all seriousness, though, and seriously, I know you're a little bit removed, and I know you played in a completely different era of hockey. But I mean,
you can ask me the question we were talking about.
I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, you do know the workarounds in the NHL. You had a career in the NHL. What the fuck could this guy have done? I mean, if it was gambling, they would have said, broke the code, because there's a specific thing that they talk about.
The same league that wants everybody else to gamble. We got
right.
That,
Okay, and they exposed the one player that got kicked out. If it was spousal abuse or abuse, you look at Lucci last week.
Like Milan,
right?
Right. Yeah.
So, what the fuck causes this such an abrupt? Hey, we're not investigating. It's done. We're putting him on waivers. He clears waivers. We're terminating his contract. That's it, and that's all we can say from the investigation. I mean, and we've talked about this privately. I don't know if we've mentioned it on the team. Shit happens in the world. Infidelity happens. I mean, if let's say he is engaged with Bedard's mom. I mean, as long as consensual, I don't understand how this would disrupt the team other than me I'm serious, but I'm not being serious when I say, was Bedard so upset that a teammate was sleeping with his mom? He went to management, but I don't believe that should kick someone off a team.
If that's the case, I would agree with you, but nobody knows. We don't know what the real truth is here.
Right.
So, all I can tell you is in my day, I know that there was infidelities between players and wives. Okay.
Right.
I'm not going to mention names, but it happened. It happened quite a bit back in my day. So
right.
I have no idea about. I've never heard anything when it comes to a mother-player situation. So, like I said, I don't believe that's the truth personally.
Yeah.
But we'll find out. I'm sure it's going to come out. Somebody somewhere is going to squeak out. If Corey Perry feels like he's been wronged here, he's going to come out sooner or later. But he's going to follow all the steps that the NHLPA tried to tell him to do because of the 60-day, leeway of filing a grievance. And the Blackhawks are going to protect themselves too, especially after the problem that they had a couple of years ago.
Right. And I wonder.
Beach and all this stuff. So the they got to be really fucking careful themselves this time too. They don't put their foot in the mouth at the same time. So that's why I didn't get much out of their
press conference.
Yeah, their press conference was rather blasé. I mean, big deal. I mean, you didn't really tell us anything other than the fact that, whatever.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll wait on that.
Agreed. Okay. Well,
speaking of Blackhawks, let's got to get right into the Patrick Kane thing. You might as well.
That was the next subject.
All right. Lead us off, big boy. Lead us off.
I got bombarded today. And, I'm going to raise my hand and say, obviously the name Patrick Kane, you got to think selfishly for the hockey club that you love, this case, the New York Rangers. Yeah, I was hoping that he was going to hold out, longer with the, fixing the surgery, do some private practices, get himself into tune and maybe come back midway to halfway through the season. So a team like the Rangers were going to pick him up. It wouldn't be drastic in the cap hit and the contract and things like that. And, I'm going to rewind a little bit and say, I believe the Patrick Kane situation, and I know I've read many articles and I looked as deep as I can get, and I know you and I had talked about it, but I think Patrick Kane's situation last year was a big reason why Jim Ramsey was let go in the New York Rangers. Now, Patrick Kane, came to the Rangers hurt, still played. We talked about it. Players are always like, I want to go, I want to play, I want to play. He didn't look great. We all know that. He wasn't the Patrick Kane that anyone expected. Here he is. He signs with Detroit for about $2.5 million, Kotz, and I'm going to kind of let you run with the rest of it. What's your thoughts? Starting from ending up with the Rangers to I want to play for a Stanley Cup contender. We both know this. The Detroit Red Wings are not a contender this year. So, is it money motivated? What is it?
I think it's a double-edged sword in Detroit because I've seen them play this year where they look like championship caliber teams, and then they look like crap the next night. I mean, they did beat Boston twice so far this year in regulation, and they were the only team to beat them up till the Rangers beat them in regulation. Right. So the potential's there. Last year with Kane, he obviously wasn't the player that everybody expected. I mean, he showed signs of it, but the consistency wasn't there. He played one or two games would be good, then the next two or three would be like so-so. So, getting Jim Ramsey getting fired, you're probably your guess is probably as good as mine on that one. I mean, this is a guy was highly looked at as one of the top traders in the league, and all of a sudden you let him go in the middle at the end of the summer. I don't know. Rangers might have been interested in him, but Rangers have a major cap problem right now. They still have a cap problem, Paulie. We're gonna get into it next week. I did a little homework on it today, but it's just way too convoluted to figure out. There's going to be all kinds of funny moves made with Rangers when guys like Fox come back, and then how you're going to get this guy to come up and bring this guy up from there, and who's got to go on injured reserve. We'll get into that next week. But now Detroit, Stevie Yzerman has quietly put together a pretty good team there when it comes to youth and some veteran leadership at the same time. So I believe they're going to make the playoffs this year. I do think Detroit will make the playoffs this year. Are they a Stanley Cup caliber team? I don't know about that, But Patrick Kane, I think it's 2.75 was the last time I read. 2.7.
Yeah, something like that.
He wants one last kick at the can, I guess, and he thinks that Detroit's the right place. Now, here's what you said something really good before we went on the air. You don't believe Detroit's a Stanley Cup thing, and you mentioned it just a few seconds ago. So if it was all about going to a Stanley Cup caliber team, why end up in Detroit?
Right.
Here's my answer to it. Maybe the wants weren't quite as what everybody was projecting. They were projecting Florida. They were projecting Toronto. They were projecting this team. Maybe these guys really didn't want Patrick Kane.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Maybe there weren't that many teams really, really, really interested in it.
Right.
I'm just saying, I'm just throwing that out there for you. For him to pick Detroit out of the blue, I think I would have gone to Florida. $2.5 million or 2.75 in Florida means you're still going to pocket $2 million because there's no taxes.
Right.
Compared to Detroit, where you're going to pay a little bit more in taxes. So
Yeah.
It's a weird call, but good for him. He's going to give it one more kick at the can. You can't deny his right to try again. So
yeah.
But as for the Rangers, if he was a healthy guy, I would have taken a chance on him. That's just me, though, and it's unfortunate that the Rangers really don't have a lot of cap space to play with Paulie right now.
Yeah,
they don't.
Yeah. Well, now currently with Hedel was put on long-term IR, and so was Kako today. Now I read today.
Johnny Brodzinski's being called up.
Yeah, I read today that it leaves about $8 million, but then when Fox is supposed to return, brings them down about $6.
You read high numbers then, because I read lower than that.
Yeah, it brings them up to about $5 million, and then obviously if Hedel does return, that brings them down to $2 million. So I know what you're saying. They have to really manage the dollars and cents and say, okay,
which sucks.
We can go out right now and get a $2 million guy and be safe, or close to being safe. But
I'm available, guys, for $2 million.
But honestly, I mean, Chris, I guess we got to do some Ranger talk here. You and I see maybe the same holes, maybe some different holes. This team, you spoke about it, got 4 losses in 20 games. They're the number 1 ranked team in the NHL. We might see some things differently. I still feel like, I guess I'm just one of those angry fans, and I'll be admitted. I'll admit it. It's 1 Stanley Cup in 84 years. They're they have the least amount of Stanley Cups for an original 6, and the fans they're chomping at the bit now at this point. This team never spared the dollar, and they have some of the best people in the business, and yet it just doesn't materialize year after year after year after year. Oh, they're good, they're gonna be good, okay, they're pretty good, okay, they're really good. But at what point now, when does management start fingering and saying, hey, listen, Kako's hurt, Hedel hasn't been the player. Hedel, we can't get, what'd you call him before? Brittle? I like that. We can't get this guy to get a full season out of him. At what point do we say, okay, we got to move some bodies out and we got to bring some bodies in? Because I'll be honest, I know they have the best record in the NHL, but I don't see this team right here that's playing New York Ranger hockey going to the Stanley Cup. I think there's some elements that are missing. Correct me if I'm wrong. I love the 4th line right now. And Will Cooley. Love Cooley.
Well, I think again, before the show started, I said to you, I think there's 2 more pieces to this puzzle. They have the best goaltending in the league, as far as I'm concerned right now. Okay, there's 2 pieces to the puzzle that I think they need to address when they get into the playoffs, because the playoffs is a grind. The playoffs is a big grind where you need big, beefy people that are going to win the battles on the boards, just like Las Vegas did last year. Just like every team that's won the Stanley Cup the past years, they've got that little extra something added to their lineup that helps them out when it comes to the grinding physical part of it. Now, the Rangers, last night, was a bad game overall, but they hit the shit out of Buffalo pretty good last night. I think they're going to need at least one more big, heavy, solid forward. And I think you're going to have to get another big, heavy defenseman. Plain and simple. I think there's plenty of talent on the team right now. Okay? I don't, if you can get talent for cheap, I get it. Go out and get it. But that's not the biggest thing they have right now. The biggest thing is going to be for them is to play that big physical game when it counts, Paulie. When it counts in the playoffs. You're going to have to go into those corners. You're going to have to win the puck battles. They need one more big guy like that I'd like to see added to the front end of the lineup and the back end too. But as I see it overall, like I'm not as pessimistic on you. I think I've seen enough this year that they could be contenders for a Stanley Cup because I've looked at the rest of the league too. All your big monsters in the league now have shown the same weaknesses that any other team has. How come Boston's lost 3 in a row? You know what I mean? They've lost 3 in a row now. They got beat the other night by Detroit pretty easy. Tampa was making a bit of a run, but then they got spanked last night against Colorado. You know what I mean? I'm looking around. Vegas has lost a few games in the last. They lost to Calgary last night.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, so as much as you think the Rangers don't have, I don't see the other teams that far ahead of them anymore. Right now.
I don't disagree with that either. I
will challenge any team. That includes Vasilevsky in Tampa.
Right.
That say that your goaltending is better than the Rangers right now.
Right. No, I agree with you.
I'll challenge anybody to that.
No, I agree. And I do agree with you the fact that I don't feel like they're behind anybody in the league or somebody is so much better than them. I'm just
it's you're like what you said. The 84 years, you always have that in your back of your head, that pessimistic.
Yeah, I'm chomping at the bit now. I'm like, I want them to have the record the fucking Bruins had last year and win the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
Like, that's where I'm at. I want this fucking team to have 10 total losses through the 84 games. That's where I'm at right now. I'm just I know maybe at times it becomes unrealistic, but I do worry about.
Oh, you got a right to worry. You do have a right to worry because
last night I was really upset. I was like, it's a fucking no-show. How do you not show up at the Garden?
You know what? You're overplaying that a little bit. Every team has done that this year. Every top team in the league this year has had their little clunker. Well, they have. They've had it. I mean, Vancouver got beat by San Jose the other night.
True.
Okay? A team they beat 10-1 a week ago.
Yeah.
So it happens, Paulie. Buffalo played well last night. I don't care what anybody said. They showed what their future holds.
Right. Without Tage Thompson.
Exactly. So, and the Rangers, one thing I'll agree with you about last night, just goes to show you do have to bring it every night. You just can't throw your sticks on the ice because you're on top of the league. Once you're one of the top 2-3 teams in the league, you're the dog. I mean, you're the rabbit now. Everybody's chasing you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they didn't show up last night. Tomorrow will be a tough game against Detroit. We'll see how they rebound. I guess they've rebounded pretty well after every clunker. But I'm going to remind the fans that are listening too. The Rangers have lost 4 times now? 4 or 5? Is it 4 or 5? I think it's 4. Somebody correct me.
They have an overtime loss, so
okay, but I'm talking regulation.
Yeah,
I think it's 4. Okay, look at the teams that they've lost to.
Yeah,
they lost to the shitty Minnesota Wild.
Yeah,
they lost to the shitty Nashville Predators. They lost to the Buffalo Sabres. The only team that has a decent record or good record was the Dallas. So they've had 3 clunkers against 3 teams that they should beat. But how have they fared against the teams other than them 3? So I'm not concerned yet. I'm not concerned about that stuff at all. If I see this happening about every 3-4 games, then I'll agree with you. But I'm not concerned about it.
Sure. All right. Well, good. I'm sure everyone wanted to hear that, Chris.
Hey, Barry,
Hold
Paulie's been eating his spinach like Popeye.
Oh man, everyone's got jokes, huh?
It's
Yes,
called
Charlie.
steroid cream. It's called steroid cream. You know.
Oh God, here we go. Fucking good. 4 losses, 1 overtime. So
How many? 4
4
losses in regulation? Okay.
Yep, and 1 overtime loss.
And the only team that was really, really at the top of their game was Dallas. And that game they were leading going into the third, remember?
Yep. But I just don't, I'm not I last night pissed me off, man. I'm just gonna be honest. I thought Shesterkin deserved better in front of him. Here's a guy, he's trying to bounce back himself.
Yeah,
And he got nothing in front. I thought Keandre Miller was fucking awful last night. I thought Zibanejad's first period, I would have benched him. That's how mad I was at Zibanejad's play. I'm like, what the fuck is he doing? His passes were terrible. His decision making was awful. I know he scored the goal, and I hope, because we need that goal from him. He was really good on the power play with that goal. He was almost money last year with that Ovechkin style on the right hand side, waiting for the pass across.
Listen, he played pretty damn good the 2-3 games before that. He was starting to come around, and his point total starting to get up there. He's got 15 points in 20 games, so it's starting to come around. Yeah, but we're going to beat a dead horse here about last night's game. Nobody really showed up last night. It wasn't just Zibanejad. It wasn't just Miller. The whole team sucked. Okay.
Yep.
And when you take a night off like that against a youthful team, like a youthful team with all that, Buffalo's got a lot of guys that are potential studs 2-3 years down the road.
Yes.
So, and some of them showed up last night, and they looked really good against the Rangers. So I'm not worried about it, though. It happens. You have a clunker. They've had a clunker. They've had 3 clunkers this year against 3 teams they should beat, and they've managed to beat a lot of teams that nobody thought they'd beat. So right now, they're tied in points with Vegas and Boston, 31, 31, 31. You can't ask for more right now. You just can't. So what do you think? What do you think about Fox coming back tomorrow?
I mean, listen.
Is he going to be ready? Is he going to be
that's the thing. How ready is he going to be?
Because let's call it what it is. They really didn't miss him, did they?
Well, maybe on the power play, but
the win-loss part I'm talking about.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Well, we all know how important he is to the team. He is the quarterback behind the blue line, and through center ice, and through the other teams.
I think the difference is you spoke about Panarin's been quiet over a couple of games. He did get that late goal in the Boston game, but I think Foxy really feeds that line well. And Kreider, I think on the power play, a lot of big deflections from Fox, and Fox knows where to place it for Kreider, and it seems like it's money almost every time. So maybe a little bit more offense on the power play with some of the bigger names.
Well, there's no question. A lot of people marvel at Panarin's passing. Fox is probably the best at passing on the team for one reason only that I look at. It's because he doesn't make stupid ones like Panarin does once in a while. So Panarin does make some really iffy cross-ice stuff that gets intercepted. So
yeah,
I've already said that as a team you accept it, but Fox rarely makes the bad decision when he passes the puck.
I'll tell you, but I will tell you, what's his name's really stepped in and became so good for us. The hell is he? Why can't I think of his name?
Who?
What's it? Come on, Paul.
With the what, on the Rangers?
Yeah, the defenseman.
Gustafson? Zach
That's it.
Jones?
I knew Gustafson.
Gustafson has been he's still been the best defenseman since Fox left.
Yeah. So, I mean, I tell you, when Foxy comes back, that power play is deadly.
Yeah, but Gustafson doesn't start on the number one power play. They put a forward back there, remember?
Well, yeah, I mean, well, he is now, but when Fox comes back, yeah, I'll get moved to the second one. Yeah. But he's really stepped up. What else did we want to talk about?
Well, I see, I saw what Barry's writing there about the. We'll get back to the Rangers there, but you're talking about the Ottawa game, right, Barry? Last night against the Panthers, where they threw everybody out for having a little meeting by the sideboards there about all the misconduct. They gave everybody misconduct, and there really wasn't any fighting at all last night. I saw the video and all that crap. Listen, the NHL, I think 9 times out of 10 tries to do the right thing when they institute new rules and new this and new that. But nobody can be 100% perfect, okay? Sometimes I think the NHL thinks they're perfect when they do all this stuff, and they won't admit it. Throwing those guys out was a joke, Barry. That would even get you nothing back in the 80s and the 70s and even the early 90s, okay? What happened last night in that game with Ottawa and the Panthers. So, I mean, I didn't see a lot there for everything to throw those guys out. I mean, it's just the penalties that are being called in the modern day of hockey
horrible
are just like
horrible.
We're talking about the softest, weakest stuff I've ever seen in my life. Okay, we'll leave it at that. That's all I got to say about that. I could talk. I'm listening to the game in behind me here. I'm sure there's all kinds of crap going on in there that I'd be laughing at. So.
Well, and I think the officiating's just been god awful this year. Worse than I've ever seen, ever in any league. To be honest with you, it's like I can't even believe it's the fucking NHL sometimes.
But Paulie, but here's the part. I think I mentioned this last week with you too, and I've done this a few times. I defend the referees more than I have now, and the linesmen. I do now because you work for the NHL. You don't work for the New York Rangers. You don't work for the Toronto Maple Leafs. You work for the NHL.
Right.
And if you're being told from the higher-ups, this is the way you're going to call it, are you not going to do it?
Yeah, I would assume.
So it's really not up. The referees are doing what they're being told up there, and even though they know but won't admit it, you can tell sometimes they make calls. They know they made a foolish call just by looking at them afterwards. They go, you can see that look on their face. Like, holy shit, what did I just call? You know what I mean? I've seen that happen many times this year. But in order to get your paycheck, you're going to listen to your higher ups.
Yeah.
You got all these geniuses in that NHL office. George Peros, who runs the sheriff department about discipline and fines. Then you got that guy Colin Campbell. You know what I mean? That's just another brown nose. It's all he ever has been. Was as a player and what is as an administrator. Okay?
Yeah.
I don't know. You tell me.
I mean, and I'm not just talking about the calls that they're making. I'm looking at the officiating overall, how like we spoke about, pucks are going off of feet and we're calling them kicked in. Pucks go in the net and we say the puck didn't cross the line. Like simple fucking stuff that, I mean, I don't know what's happening. I agree. I need to find out, and I don't know if Beth, if she's got some time here. I know that most reviews in the beginning were done in Toronto. I don't think that's the case because these guys are looking at the iPads. They're looking, is Toronto overruling what's happening?
Absolutely.
Or are they looking at it and saying, nope, we made a mistake?
Absolutely. That's what's happening. That's what's happening.
It's horrible. It
doesn't matter if you and I are the referees and we bring in the linesmen to look at it. We think what we think. We still have to go with what they say up in Toronto. That, there's no. Why would they go? Why would they even talk to Toronto if it's not that case?
Well, yeah, I'm trying to figure it out. I know that originally it was Toronto, but why are they looking at the iPad though, Chris? Why are they looking at the
Because they're
play?
looking at the video at the same time as the people in Toronto, and the people in Toronto saying, "Look here, look here, look here. This is what we see. This is what we see. This is what we see." That's why.
Right. And then they must discuss, well, what did you see on the ice?
Exactly. There's a little back and forth.
There has to be.
I still think the final thing is going to be the guys up top. Yeah. I do. Well, it is. It's very confusing, and it's horse shit. It always has been and always will be. Okay, replays on this, replays on. We got. I mean, pretty soon you're going to have replays. Okay, on just about everything in the game. You missed that elbow to the face. I want a replay for that. You know what I mean? They got to cut this shit out sooner or later and let human error judge. Think about it.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, 2 weeks ago in New York, it took 15 minutes to decide on that Cooley goal. Remember? 15
that was the goal.
Minutes.
It was a goal.
It took 15 minutes. And they're the ones talking about speeding up the game?
Yeah.
You know, just garbage shit.
Yeah. I did that fight last night was started by the Kachuk brothers.
Well, yeah.
I love it.
Well, they're both a little chippy. I think the one in Florida is a little dirtier.
I fucking love them.
The one in Florida's got a little bit more of a dirty game than the captain up in Ottawa. Yeah. Even though he's got a little, he could be dirty too. But
I love him, man.
Oh yeah, I'd love that. I'd love that. The kid from Ottawa.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Hell yeah. I'd love it. They play like your dad, man.
Yeah.
They got their dad's toughness.
Actually, I think they're a little more dirtier than he was. He wasn't that dirty. Nah, he wasn't that dirty. He was a pretty solid player.
Oh yeah, but he was tough as nails, man.
Yeah, but I don't think he fought as much as these guys do.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. What's the one in Ottawa? Is he Braden?
Oh God,
I forgot. I couldn't even remember.
I know when he takes his lid off, he looks like he just got out of jail with that short hair and everything. Looks like he should be wearing an orange suit.
Yeah. He's tough as nails, man.
Oh.
So, Kotz, now going back to the Rangers and Kakko and Hedel on long term. I know they brought up Johnny Brzezinski. I don't know why we're not bringing up Othman. No idea, but okay.
Well, you think about it, they're doing the same thing with Othman that they did with Cooley. Yeah. Well, Cooley played a lot of games last year. But he played a lot of games in Hartford last year. Cooley, they're probably doing the same thing with Othman right now. And again, we're looking at a team that's only lost 4 games, Paulie.
I know, but I mean,
things are going pretty good for the New York Rangers right now in the winning and the loss record. So I don't think you're going to see any major changes unless things start to go astray, like when they start to play 500 hockey, which is still possible because it's a long season.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But until they start playing 500 hockey or around 500 hockey, nothing's going to really change that much in that lineup. It's just not going to change. It's been successful. It's more than anybody could have dreamed of after 20 games. Okay?
Well, I still want to know.
If they play 500 hockey from here on in, that's 45 to 50 wins, Paulie. Think about that.
So, Cox.
If they do that. 45 wins, sorry.
Now, I know exactly what you're going to say, but I still got to ask it because everyone asks me. And I said, I don't know. When are we done with the Wheeler experiment? And I ask this every week.
And I'm going to tell you the same
You're a
answer.
top line player.
I'm gonna give you the same answer I'm giving you every week.
You're gonna tell me they only got 4 losses.
It's totally understandable, but that line actually played pretty damn good the last 2 or 3 games up till the night before. They actually took over. You can say what you want. Did he not get some points? Did Wheeler not get some points?
Yeah.
Did he get a goal taken away from him last night that you forgot?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean, you'll mention if it's Will Cooley that he got a goal taken away from.
Yeah, but that was a legitimate takeaway.
It still was a goal that he scored that got taken away. Now, is he struggling still? Sure, he's struggling. But again, they're not going to do anything because you got a cap problem here. He's only getting paid $850,000, Paulie. I know it doesn't sound like a lot NHL. It sounds like a lot to me and you, but. What are you going to do? You get rid of him, and you're going to do some machinations right now to bring somebody else up. You know, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do with him. Right now, I don't think they're going to do anything until it gets to a point where it's more than blatantly obvious, and it's not blatantly obvious yet that he's that horrible yet.
Do you not feel like the guy's skating in mud? He looks behind the plate.
Yeah. Well, he's 38 years old, 39 years old, whatever he is. Yeah.
There's 12 other guys you could put in that slot.
Well, again.
I mean, I know you're trying to play devil's advocate, but
you got your pet whipping boys, and I got mine. So
it's not a whipping.
I'm not whipping them right now. Only out of respect for what he's done in his career. And the fact that he came there on a really low ball salary, okay? He didn't ask for $1 million. He didn't ask for $2 million. He probably would have got it somewhere else. Right. He didn't do that. And you can't deny that he actually played better the last 2-3 games out of 4 with that line. Zibanejad and him, they were starting to click. You can't deny that.
All right.
You just can't. Nothing's going to change until something happens in the win-loss record. Just remember I said that to you before the show. I've said it to you twice now. If the wins and the losses don't stay the way they are, then you'll see changes. That's when you'll get your wishes. Until then, not going to happen.
So if Zibanejad produces at the rate he's producing now, you don't think Wheeler gets moved off that line?
Oh, it's possible that he gets moved. Yeah, it's possible he goes back down to the 4th and 3rd, whatever.
I'm not saying get him off the team.
And he'd be okay there. But
I'm not saying get him off the team. I just don't understand why he's playing on the top line.
It's about giving him a boost. That's what they've seen the struggle. They put him with some top caliber players to see if it helps his offensive game. And it has slightly. It has. It's improved. It's not worse. It's improved. Now, if it doesn't get better than improved, then you'll see the drop back down. That's my theory as coaching. I'm going to give you a shot with the top-tier players, just like everybody else did, just like your boy Philip Hedl, just like Kakko, just like Lafreniere, okay? Just like they all got their shots. Then they end up going back down again, remember? Then they go back up, and then they go back down. So that's the way it's going to be with him, whether Ranger fans like it or not. In a perfect world, you bring up Hoffman. But we don't know if he's ready yet or not to play the whole shebang. Like Cooley's ready for one reason only. He's physically mature enough to play in the National Hockey League.
He sure is.
You know what I mean? His physicality is mature enough. And he's going to get better with his. He's got great hands. He can skate with a puck. He's going to be a good, really good fucking hockey player for the New York Rangers down the road. Yeah. And Othman will be too, but is he ready to do the 80-game physical part of the game? We'll wait. But as for Wheeler, nothing's going to change with Wheeler until I said the wins and losses. If the wins stop coming, and the points aren't there for that line, whatever line he's on, it's not going to change until that happens. Sorry, all you Ranger fans.
We'll see.
It is what it is right now. I mean,
yeah, we'll see.
There's a lot. There's more than one guy in this team. If I was coaching or I was running the team, that I would expel a long time ago. You know that.
I know. Well, you can't expel him because he's on IR.
Yeah.
I mean, haven't seen much out of Kako this year.
Well, I'm not talking about him. He's
Not
won
this
2.
much.
Yeah, well, you know what? He's only been in the league 4. Your other guy's been in the 7-year itch. 7-year itch.
He's only been so
The
when
7-year itch.
Here's the thing, though. You're so funny.
Well, you started it. You opened the
when
door.
Heedle was in his 4 years, you're like, it's got fucking 4 years already. When's he gonna turn around?
7-year itch.
I mean, fuck.
7 year. We're in a 7-year itch here.
I got it, Philip. I like what you called him today. I thought that was funny, Philip. What was
Listen,
it?
I'm not that like mean. Okay, if it's a concussion thing, I feel bad for the guy.
Yeah, it has to be.
Nobody wants to go through that shit. Okay.
Yeah, it has to be.
Nobody does. You know.
I'd imagine.
But he's been, Paulie, here's the funny part about the long-term IR with him. He's been skating for 2 weeks.
It's got to be an injury where...
It's got to be the concussion thing.
It's got to be.
He's been skating for close to 2 weeks on his own.
Yeah. He might be getting
going on, I guess it's retroactive from November 3rd, so technically, or whatever, what date, I can't remember one of the dates. But I would love to see him come back, and I would love to see him live up to what you think he is. Okay?
Right.
I would love it because that would be a big help and a big boost to the New York Rangers.
Right.
But if he's got a concussion problem, it might be time.
Oh, yeah.
Listen,
I'm going to tell you right now, I've cashed my ticket on that train. It's either this was the year either fucking put up or shut up. I'm just with everyone else. I mean, I think everybody knows and has seen the side that the potential. But if the potential don't come out and he doesn't produce and he's not the player we need him to be, then it's time to part ways. I have no problem with that. I don't disagree with that at all. And I know it's been a long time, and I know he's shown some brilliance, but he hasn't produced, and he's not where he needs to be. And now, if God forbid this is a concussion situation, this might just take him out on his own. I mean, you can't play if you can't play, right?
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of this stuff happens year in, year out with every team, Paulie, okay? But seems how we focus on the Rangers. Think about this now, okay? We had JT Miller at one time.
Yeah.
The Rangers. Now he's a superstar up in Canada with Vancouver. Okay? We had...
Took him 1 in 7 years.
We had Busnevich. Okay? He's not a superstar, but he's had a decent career. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It happens to every team where you only get a certain amount of time. No, JT Miller did not play 7 years with the Rangers. Trust me. He never had a 7-year career with the Rangers.
No, but how long has he been in the business?
Well, he's probably been in the league for like 10 years now, minimum. Okay?
We've only been talking about him the last 2.
Well, he actually started 3 years ago to show us stuff. But what I'm saying to you is there's a pecking order on every team that you play on. Unless you absolutely show it right off the bat that you're as good as your number 1 or number 2 guy at that position, you ain't going to get the ice time.
Right.
You're not going to get that time. You have to surpass those guys immediately to get that number 1 or number 2 spot.
Sure.
And none of those guys ever did that during their time with the Rangers. And that includes Philip Heedle.
Agreed.
Never. He's never come close.
Right.
So it happens to every team. It happens with every team. You know, like a guy like Connor Bedard, I mean, like you can tell right away he's their number one guy now in Chicago at 18, 19 years old. Because it shows right away.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it also helps when you play on a real shit team. Where the Rangers, regardless of they haven't won very many Stanley Cups in 84 years, but rarely have they been the dogs of the league.
Right.
You know, I mean, bottom feeders, like bottom five in the last 20, 25 years. Very rarely have they been that. So that
except
means
for the year they traded Brian Leach.
But I'm just saying, what happens there means that they still got good enough players that are in the number one, number two slots at all positions. That new guy that comes in, he better be Wayne Gretzky, Sidney Crosby, Mario Lemieux all at once, or you're not taking that guy's job.
Sure.
And you're not going to get the ice time to develop. You're not going to get the power play time and all that stuff. It's just the way it is.
Yep. What was I looking at here? Let's take a look at some scores. See what's happening around the league.
I can hear the Devils in the background there, Richard. They're still tied 4-4 with the Isles. With the fish sticks.
Panthers, Maple Leafs are at 1-1.
Oh.
Hurricanes are up 2-1 on the Flyers. The Wild's up 2-1 on the Blues.
That was a pretty shitty move, them firing Dean Evison.
Yeah.
I thought.
Predators are up 2-1 on the Penguins. And wow, there's a lot of hockey being played right now. Kraken 2-2 with the Blackhawks. That's still killing me. Coyotes are up on the Lightning in the first period. It's early. 1-0. And then Golden Knights. The Golden Knights and the Oilers play tonight.
And the Oilers kind of got hot there all of a sudden. I think.
Yeah.
What do you have? 9 points in 2 games? Something like that? 7 points in 2 games?
Hyman's been sticking it too. That's going to be a
Michael Ryback, the Montreal Canadian fan. Your question is good. You might not remember, but remember when Guy Lafleur was drafted by the Montreal Canadiens? They wanted him run out of Montreal his first 2-3 years there. Okay? And he was a top pick overall. Think about it. How did his career end up? It's true. They were booing Guy Lafleur his first 2-3 years in Montreal because he wasn't living up to that number one status. But he was playing with Stanley Cup teams. He went right to a loaded Montreal Canadian team. Yeah. You know, they were loaded with studs on that team back then.
Right. Yeah.
I remember he wore that big Stan Mikita helmet and everything else back then. I don't know if you remember the big Stan Mikita helmet. Ron Greshner used to wear it at one time. The big bubble helmet.
Jaffa?
No, it was a Stan Mikita type helmet. Jaffa's a little small shit thing that Gretzky wore.
I know, but the Jaffas seemed pretty round to me too.
Oh, no.
Would you wear CCM?
My first year I wore the CCM, and then I got to Hartford. I switched to Cooper. It looked like the Tron, like the Tron helmets. The helmet that Messier wore his whole career. Okay, that's what I wore.
Yeah.
I liked it. It was much better fit than the CCM.
Huh.
But it's just
what stick do you use, Cots?
My first year at the Rangers, I believe it or not, I think I used. I can't remember. I started out with Victoriaville, then I went to Canadian, and I stuck with Canadian the rest of my career. I had the white Canadian at first. It was the white shafted one. Then I went to it was like, I don't want to say carbon fiber, but something like that, graphite. Still had a wood blade, though.
Did you like a heavier stick, Cots, or no?
Well, not really. I mean, every year that I played after my fourth year, I would lengthen the stick like this to go an inch, half inch, 3/4. Believe it or not, see, like that much more added to my stick was that much more it could get you with my stick for hooking you. Technically, my stick was illegal in length at the time. You were only allowed X amount of inches lengthwise, and I knew my stick was way over by the time I played my last 4 years.
Isn't it relevant to your height though, Chris, or no?
No, back then it wasn't.
Like Zdeno Chara, he couldn't.
No, they had to change shit for him, but
Yeah.
for us back then it wasn't. There was a length issue too. You know, back then. But nobody ever worried about me back then because I wasn't playing offensive hockey. I was more of a defensive guy back then. So I got away with it.
Yeah. I actually watched that. I meant to break your balls about it too, and I forgot.
What, the video of me and Lisa?
Yeah, it was great.
Hartford, with my first Roddy, Bubba.
I'm gonna download that. I'm gonna play it.
It was a
I'm
good
gonna download and play it on the show. That's good stuff.
I lived in the condo there. I was on the 17th floor, and we raised a puppy there in an apartment, 17th floor.
Yeah.
So we had to like put newspaper and garbage bags on the floor because I wasn't going to get in the elevator every time. He had to go as a puppy. And Davey Keon lived upstairs in the penthouse. and I've told you this story every time, you know, I'd get out, go to practice, like from the towers in Hartford to the rink was probably no more than less than a 10-minute walk.
Wow.
Less than a 10-minute walk. I never walked once. I got in my truck and drove there back and forth. And every day in the wintertime, I would see Davey Keon with his gloves on. He had the scarf on and he had his handicap hat on. And I would honk the horn at him as I drive by him every morning. This is a guy that was the Rookie of the Year in 1961. And I'm playing with this guy in Hartford in 81, 82. And I'd be in the dressing room already in my underwear getting ready for practice. He'd come in, he goes, "Hey, Kotze, I see you walk to work again today." He'd say the same shit to me every day. You know, and after a while, I'll be quite honest with you, like you're kind of like hypnotized. It's Davey Keon, the guy I watched growing up, you know. Right. After a while, his act got so thin on me, he'd say the same shit to me, like, go fuck yourself, Davey, every morning. Go fuck yourself, leave me alone. That's right, I didn't walk to work. I drive to work. What's it to you? You know what I mean? Davey was a great player, and he deserves everything he got, but his last few years, like in Hartford, he was just I want to say just a disgruntled guy. Like he looked at all of us like, what have I got myself into? He had that look on his face every day.
That's hilarious.
No, I don't think Hartford will get another team, Barry.
I wonder.
No, I don't.
No.
They still have some passionate fans that still follow me on Facebook, but the downtown Hartford area is like a ghost town now, not like it was when I played there. It's very crime-ridden. It's the only place I've ever seen a McDonald's like close. Have you ever seen a McDonald's close anywhere, people?
No.
Yeah, let me know. McDonald's closed in downtown Hartford the last time I was there, and that was like 10, 12 years ago.
Wow.
No, I don't think they'll get another team. It's the market's not big enough, and plain and simple, it's just not big enough.
Wow.
Listen, I had a fun time playing in Hartford. I had a fun time playing there. Had a fun time living there. I didn't have a fun time with the management there. How's that? We'll leave it at that. Management could go kiss my ass all 4 years there.
Anyway, good stuff. Good stuff. I don't know. I got nothing else. I'm pooped out.
Well, just tomorrow, like you said, it'll be interesting to see how they react. The Rangers react against
I don't expect Kane to be in the lineup tomorrow. Do you?
who?
Kane.
That'd be a hell of a place to come back. His first game back against the Rangers at Madison Square, wouldn't it?
I mean, I would suspect he's probably got a good 2 weeks. He wants to skate with the team and stuff.
Oh, I know, but he's been working out since the middle of summertime. That's a long time.
I don't know. We'll see, I guess, hey?
Yeah, you could be right. I ain't worried about it.
I don't expect him to be there tomorrow. I don't. I figured he would probably need about 2 weeks with the team. Probably just try to get into game shape. I mean, he's been working out by himself. I would imagine a good hard practice, try to get to know some of the guys before. I mean,
yeah, one hard practice. If you're going to do that, then it's going to take a week or two because one hard practice is not going to do it for you.
No, absolutely not. That's why I said I think it would be 2 weeks, but you might be right. He might be chomping at the bit. Might be healthy enough to play. So we'll see what happens.
You can train as hard as you want, off ice, on ice, by yourself. It's never the same as a real training camp. Trust me.
Yeah. No, I believe it.
It's just not. I went through 12 of them altogether in all my pro careers. You can run, you can lift weights, you can diet properly, you can do this, and you can take your vitamins. As Hulk Hogan, just take your vitamins and drink your milk. Little maniacs, whatever. But your third day in training camp, you feel like one big banana that's been bruised from head to toe. All your muscles are sore, everything aches. Oh, somebody scored. Looks like the Jersey Devils just scored with 21 seconds to go against the Islanders.
Really?
Yep. Hey, the Devils, remember I warned you at the beginning of the year about the Devils? Remember how good a season they had last year?
Yeah.
Not so good this year. Guess
Not
what?
So much.
Because everybody knows now. They're not taking anybody by surprise. So.
Right. Well, the Rangers now are the number one team to gun for. So they better be ready to play hockey now.
Well, the other thing I wanted to add before we go, and I know we're a few minutes over the 9:30 mark, but there's a lot for those guys to play for this year, Paul. Because the next time you get on the show, I want you to get a list there, okay? Tell me how old Chris Kreider is now. Tell me how old Michael Zibanejad is now. Artemi Panarin. I want you to tell me how old these guys are now. They're not 25, 26, 27, 28, 29 anymore.
30.
They're 30 plus, all of them.
I think Kreider's 33, right?
And I think Panarin's 32.
Yep. I think Mika Zibanejad's around 32.
Yeah. These guys have something to play for now. Okay? Like the time's running out.
Right.
They may end up somewhere else in their career, like most guys do, late in their career. But time is running out on these guys in their time with New York to win a Stanley Cup.
Absolutely.
None of these guys are young anymore. That's all I'm saying to you. Even Trouba's like got to be right around 30 now.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
What are you looking at?
Just reading a couple of things. I'm just trying to. Well, we got to figure out what we're going to do next week. But
is it going to be Tuesday?
Next week, probably Wednesday.
It's got to be Tuesday.
Why?
It's got to be Tuesday. That's all. Just pencil in Tuesday.
All right, let me see. I don't know. Tuesday's gonna be tough, but we'll see. Why
is it gonna be tough for you?
What's the end of the week is because I got a work occasion. What's the last day of the month this week? What the hell's today?
You're asking me.
Wednesday, 29th, 30th. So Thursday is the end of the month.
Tuesday.
Friday is the first of the month.
It's got to be Tuesday.
Friday's the first of the month. Saturday's the second. I work this weekend too. All right, I'll take a look at it. I can't make any promises. We'll see what happens.
Because if you don't, then we don't get the guests that I have coming on.
Got to be Tuesday, eh?
Got to be Tuesday.
Got to be Tuesday. All right. Let me see what I can pull off. Let me check the schedule. We're gonna go with Tuesday, and then I'll let you know.
Well, I don't even know. Did the Rangers play that night?
I didn't even look at the schedule.
Are we still on the show?
We're still on.
We're still on, people.
We are still on.
Check Tuesday next week.
Beth, bail me out here. All right. Let's see here. The schedule is Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday. They played the what do you call the Senators?
Where?
They play the Senators.
At home or on the road?
Let's see here. Away.
So we can still do Tuesday.
Okay. You want to do it after the game? I gotta look.
That's okay with me.
All right.
That's okay.
Yeah, they play Tuesday against the Ottawa Senators, 7:00 start. So, all right. Well, if you want to get this guest on, it's got to be Tuesday. Let's see what we can pull off.
Yes, sir.
All right. Other than that, I got nothing else.
That's it.
The boys got to win tomorrow. I say it's a must win. Okay, you heard it from me.
He got 14 winners. It's a must win.
It's a must win tomorrow night. I think they got to beat Detroit just in principle now. Patrick Kane went over there after Ramsey got canned because he lied. And Ramsey covered it up. That's what I'm saying. And I still think I want to know if it was about Bedard going to the
I have no idea about that.
Hey,
Oh,
Corey's banging my mom. Hilarious. Come on. Anyway, I digress.
Maybe you should go take a look at what she looks like first before you say
I
stuff.
mean, I heard she's a good-looking woman, man. Anyway.
Guys, say hello to Uncle Paulie.
Hey, there he is.
That big instigator sign there. There you go. Come here, boss.
Where's boss?
Up, Luna. Up. Come here. Up. There you go. Up, Paulie. There's Luna.
Oh, that's
Look how nice she is.
Yeah.
Look how nice she is. She's a good girl.
Oh, yeah. She's a real good girl.
Well, look at her.
Yeah. Boss is the good boy. You can get boss.
He is. But Luna's the killer.
Oh, yeah, we know. Tried to eat me for the 4 days I was there. 3 days, whatever it was.
You're a good girl, though, right, Luna?
Anyway.
You're just protecting the house. Boss? All boss wants to do is eat.
He's a good boy.
All he wants to do is eat, though. You know, anytime you go near the food in the house, he's right there. That's our dog.
I'll make him some meatballs. All right.
Ready.
That's it. That's all we got. We'll see.
We'll work on Tuesday for now. All right.
Next week it looks like Tuesday, so you might have to miss some Ranger game. I don't know what to tell you people.
Larry, I got two dogs. They weigh about 350 pounds between the two of them.
Yeah.
Paulie's seen him up close and personal, but he can't really touch the.
Gary, that's a lie. He doesn't have two dogs. He has one dog and he has one beast. She's the freak. She's a freaking devil. That's the devil. You don't know that. That dog is the devil. She'll eat you.
Look at
She
that.
wants to eat you.
Look at that.
Oh yeah, it's so funny. She's like
So
a big
gentle.
kitty cat right now. Go in the house though, and I was there for 3 days. You think she would have known me by then?
Nope.
Every time she saw me, she barked, showed her teeth, she spit on me, and she tried to eat me like 6 times. Okay,
Hey, you ain't the first, and you ain't going to be the last. Trust me.
but boss, he's a good boy.
Boss, you can. Boss can be with anybody,
You can play with him. You can talk to him. He's nice. He's a pet.
but not her.
All right. Anyway, Devils will make the playoffs. I hope not. I hate the Devils. Anyway.
Well, they'll probably make the playoffs, but they're
And
not going to have that. They're not going to have that 120, 12-point season anymore. That's all.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I don't want them to make the playoffs. I hate the Devils. I hate the Penguins even more. We're out, everyone. Good night. We'll see you next week, Tuesday.
Right.
Make plans. Peace. All right.